Alright boys, what's happening? We're back with another video on F1 2021. I always go to say F1 2020. I'm not used to the one at the end yet, but we will get used to it. It's episode 2 of the My Team series. Today we have the Spanish Grand Prix. Obviously there's a different calendar on this year's game. I just checked it out before I started this video, and we do have Spain next, and then I believe we've got Monaco and then Azerbaijan. So you know, we've got some a nice little run of tracks. You know, it's definitely a switch up from previous years. Just used to starting off with Australia and going through the calendar year that way. But yeah, let me show you what we've been doing. We haven't done much, to be honest. We don't have much money in the bank. We obviously got 2 upgrades here on the aerodynamics department. We've got 4 already in the powertrain department because of the answer that we picked in our Q&A session with what's his name, Will Buxton from the F1 like interview people, I guess. You know what I mean? Aerodynamics, chassis and the powertrain has all got upgrades in progress. You can see on the screen right now, AlphaTauri has actually overtook us on the tree. You can see there we were very close. I think we were above AlphaTauri at the start of the series in the last episode, but you can see there on the right hand side, Alpha has actually overtook us, and with these upgrades I don't know if we will overtake them again, but we definitely need to look at getting some upgrades in the chassis department. The tyre wear one is definitely something that I'm going to look at doing more. You know, I feel like the tyre wear, especially at Bahrain, was crazy, bro. So if we can get any improvements on that, that'll be very nice. But we do need to upgrade our facility to the Spec 1, as you can see there. So we need some more money for that. And I do believe it's like about £1 million or something like that. 1.5 mil or 1.2 mil. We're going to need to get to Spec 1 with the chassis department. But yeah, that's what we've done. We don't have much to do. Like I've already said, we don't have any resource points at the moment. We're going to hop into the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. We're going to do a little bit in practice. I want to try out a few different setups and stuff, see what I fancy for the race. And while we try out those setups, we are going to unlock some more resource points. So hopefully we can get started on those chassis upgrades that I do want to make. I do want to get a few tyre wear reductions, like I said, and also weight reduction upgrades. I do want to get a few of them. So let's get into the weekend, and I will see you in qualifying. Alright boys, just did a little play around there in practice 1. We did a few of the little session things that you can do, the like track like guides and stuff like that. There's a few little sessions you can get a few resource points from. What I'll probably do through this season, at least for the first season of this series, is I'll probably do practice 1 like every time to try and find a good setup for the qualifying and for the race, of course. So I'm going to jump into practice 1, do a few little laps, try out a few different setups and things like that. Build up those resource points as well by doing those guides and the little activities in practice 1. But what I want to say, which I didn't mention in the last video, which I didn't even know, is that if you click go to the next practice session, rather than just skipping straight to quali or the race, yeah, if you click go to practice session, what's new this year is that you can actually decide to go to the track yourself and drive around and do the circuit, or you can go to quick practice. Now what does quick practice is like you can do those events and activities, but you don't have to do it yourself. So like I mentioned, let's go to this one here because I missed out on 2 development boosts there. So you see at the bottom we have a time. Obviously it's 60 minutes for the practice session, and you can see here, like as I scroll through each of these little activities, that they all have a different time duration that they'll take up in the session, and they also have a different chance of success. So this one here is 8 minutes, and it's a 70% chance of success, and you know we get a discount then on the ERS upgrades in the powertrain development area. So you can see there we have completed that objective. Now you can either go to the track yourself. You see this one here has 25% chance of success. You know, you can either go and do it yourself, or you can do it like this and get a 70% chance of success and just take up the time. Obviously you can get more from driving it yourself, but this is just a nice way to, you know, get a little bit extra out of the session rather than just skipping them. You know, we get discounts on the objectives here. You can see we've got one more left to do here with the ERS management, or the gearbox, sorry. That's going to be the end of our practice. We've completed all of the programs. You can see now we've got 5 out of 5 for all of them, and we've got 600, I believe, resource points from the practice session. So we're going to go ahead and end this session, and now we're going to get into qualifying, boys, because obviously we don't need to do practice 3. We've got all of the programs done, all of the boosts have been applied. Let's get into quali. Alright boys, there we are in qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. You can see the setup on screen that we are using for qualifying and of course for the race with the Parc Fermé rules. Whatever setup you use in quali, you've got to use in a race. The only thing you can change is your front wing and of course your diff. But you can pause it, copy this race setup if you want. I feel like it was a very good setup. I used a few in practice one, and this was the best setup I found. It was very nice, bro. It just felt good, you know what I mean? It just felt really good. Around this circuit, one of my favourite circuits to drive, Spain, as we get into our lap in Q1, and I'll give you a little track guide of the Spanish Grand Prix, one of my favourite tracks on the calendar year. Hook the curb on the inside into turn 1, brake just after the 100-metre board. Be careful coming through turn 2 and 3. If you get on the throttle too early while you're still in the curb, then you will spin your car. Flat out through this right-hander here, but our car just lacks downforce, bro. Really lacks downforce there, so we have to lift a little bit. Brake just before the shadow as we come through 5th gear, round this corner, into 6th gear, down into 3rd for this hairpin style corner. Try and get early on the throttle, carry as much momentum through that corner as you can, up into 7th gear. Again, like turns 2 and 3, careful on the throttle coming around here because you will spin the car very, very easily. We did it last year in last year's career mode, if you remember. Yeah, so into the DRS zone. We come flat out into the 100-metre board where we slam on, go down into 2nd gear and kiss the apex of the corner with consent, of course, unlike Drake Bell. Stay in 4th gear for this right-hander. Now, this is where a lot of tyre wear goes on the left front. We very late apex on that corner there. Sweep into this corner in 5th gear, into the chicane. Careful with the sausage curbs on the chicane right there because, you know, they will absolutely batter the car. We don't have the new layout of Spain this year, so there is no sausage curb on the exit curb of the chicane, so you can run a little bit wide. I probably should have done it there. You can get a little bit more time, but that's our lap. 118.4. I thought it was 118.8, but 118.4 apparently, and that takes us through to Q2, of course. Dan Ticktum unfortunately missing out on Q2, our teammates, but he's getting better, bro. He's getting better, you get me? So hopefully we see him soon in Q2 with us, if we can keep our pace up, of course. Fernando Alonso just behind us, which was a very weird result for Q1. Again, same lap, you've seen it just before. We need to really work on this downforce, bro, because this should be a flat out right-hander right here, but we had to lift a little bit both times, both laps, or even in the race we had to lift a little bit because we just don't stick to the track like the other cars do, do you know what I mean? So we're going to focus on getting our downforce up in this career mode. This late apex again on this hairpin style bend. Try and carry as much momentum through there. You can lose a lot of time through that corner right there. That is a very dangerous left and right there, bro. I'm telling you, like, if you drop the wheel into the curb and accelerate too hard, you will just spin. And maybe you'll see in a race a little spin. Who knows? We'll find out. Once we do get to the race, 100-metre board again, braking a bit too deep on the corner. We could have made a little bit more time there. This one, very easy to spin right here. As well, you see, I nearly lose it there, but we managed to catch the car. Late apex as we come towards the chicane, sweep in 5th gear, down into 3rd. Through the chicane. Do not touch the sausage curbs, like I've just mentioned. On this game on F1 2021, if you hit the curbs, bro, the curbs will hit you back 10 times harder, I'm telling you. So just be careful on the curbs as we set a 118.5. Which puts us in P13. We're in an AlphaTauri sandwich. Unfortunately, don't make it through, sorry, to Q3. But we finish above the Alpine of Esteban Ocon, who's had a stinker, and Fernando Alonso actually makes the top 10, despite finishing behind us in Q1. So I don't know what's going on there with the Alpine, but you can see our rivalry on the screen is with Yuki Tsunoda, and eagle-eyed viewers can see that we've changed our character model, and that is Jarno Opmeer on the left. That is our new character model, Jarno Opmeer, one of my favourites, F1 esports players, you know what I mean? So it's good that his face is in the game. Of course, he won the World Championship. But with that being said, let me stop speaking and let Crofty take over.
Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1, so how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Sainz, Vettel, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, Gasly, the owner driver, Yuki Tsunoda and Ocon, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Daniel Ticktum and Antonio Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So boys, it looks like Daniel Ricciardo picked up a grid penalty there, and he's actually going to start behind us on the race as we choose our strategy and wait for the light to count down. 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We're off to a great start. Again, our reaction speed is just unmatched as we overtake Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll straight away. Alonso nearly cutting us off there, and we allow Pierre Gasly to gain a few places back, but we full send it up the inside. It's full send as always, late on the brakes. Out the way Alonso. We push him a little bit wide there, a bit cheeky from us, but we're up into P9 straight from the get-go into the points. What you love to see. We are on the medium tyres, of course. So is Lance Stroll behind us, but we have Alonso just behind us on the soft tyres, just behind Lance Stroll. Obviously he got through into Q3, so it must have been on the softs. Something I will point out, the two Mercedes who led the way, Lewis Hamilton dropped 2 places there from the start. That was a bit weird, bit slow start from him, but both Mercedes actually are running the one-stop strategy. They both qualified in Q2 on the medium tyres, so those two out ahead of the Red Bulls are going to be on a 2-stop, and the Red Bulls on the softs are going to be on the 2-stop strategy, with the Mercedes on the 1-stop, sorry. So yeah, very interesting race there. Interesting strategy, bro. I love looking at the strategy in these F1 races. But yeah, man. So our goal right now is to keep Lance Stroll behind us and try and catch Carlos Sainz. Obviously, Sainz is in a better car in the Ferrari, and he's on soft tyres. So it's going to be very hard to catch Carlos Sainz. But Lance Stroll is behind us on the medium tyres as well as us. And he's in the the Aston Martin, which isn't the best car on the grid this year. We nearly slam into the back of Carlos Sainz there, very late on the brakes as always. But yeah, man. So we're hoping to keep Lance Stroll's Aston Martin behind us, because we are very close on the R&D tree in terms of certain elements of the car with the Aston Martin. So, you know, it might be a tricky task, I don't know, but we hit the sausage curb, bro. I told you not to hit the curbs, and we hit the curb on lap 1, and it's cost us a lot of time on Carlos Sainz down the home straight. We put on some ERS to try and catch him, but it doesn't really work out. As we go through, the next 3 laps are exactly the same as the one that you've just seen right there. We do increase the gap from Lance Stroll to about 1.5 seconds.
Incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Now you can see there we got a little message from Jeff to say there's an incident on track and there's some debris on the track, but no safety car came of it. But it's a nice little message to get from the engineer this year. You know, I think that's a new feature that they did add this year as we run a little wide there into the gravel. And you can see the 1.5 second lead that we had on Lance Stroll now gets cut to a sub 1 second lead. He might have got the RS through there. In fact, no, he didn't. So we managed to keep him at that 1 second, but we lost 5 tenths there, and we take a bad thing right there. You see, I said kiss the apex on that corner, but not absolutely. I can't even finish that sentence. But yeah, man, terrible lap 5 from us. You see the front left is getting absolutely battered, bro. We should have put some more tyre pressure into that front left, try and save it, as Lance Stroll tries to make the move down into turn 1. Round the inside, is he going to do it? He knocks us a little bit, and we sort of lose grip and spin a little bit. Take no damage on the front wing, no, luckily, and we managed to stay ahead of him. He does yield that place right there because he did tap us. Maybe he felt a bit bad for us for tapping us, so he's let us stay ahead. But yeah, it's only a matter of time, let's be honest. Alonso is also within DRS range of us, never mind of Lance Stroll. But let's just see a quick replay of that move right there as we do go into the gravel. Very unfortunate. We allow Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo to catch up to us there with that move.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Unfortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Now, there's just a bit of feedback from Jeff, the engineer, as he tells us that the incident that he mentioned before, I don't know if it's the same incident actually, but yeah, they have cleared the debris. But we have just gone into the gravel once again, boys. It's a terrible lap. It's a terrible, terrible lap, as Pierre Gasly is right on our arse right now. And, you know, we're coming into the DRS zone. He's going to have DRS open, and he's probably going to catch us, but he doesn't on that straight there. As we come down the home straight, is he going to catch us? Let's see. He's got incredible pace in the AlphaTauri. We try and defend, go a bit wide there. To try and defend it, and it looks like we've defended it quite well late on the brakes through turn 1, 2 and 3 through into the flat out right hander, and we managed to keep us behind, or keep Gasly behind us, sorry. But that AlphaTauri has incredible pace, bro. I don't know what they've done, but they have increased their gap to us in the R&D tree so much. We were actually ahead of them at the start of the season. Now this is race 2 in the calendar year, and they've actually overtook us, so I don't know what the hell they've done to their car, but they've actually overtook us in the R&D tree. But yeah, Pierre Gasly makes the move on us there, pushes us wide off the track. We actually get done for corner cutting, I think it was, the FIA said. But that was because Gasly pushed us off, so we really had no option. As we try and make the move on Gasly, can we make any move? I think we had a little touch with him there, a little tap of the arse, pause. But yeah, we try and make the move on Gasly, but it's just not really working out for us. You know, once he was past us, it was very hard to try and catch him, staying in this turbulent air behind him and trying to get that pace to catch him. We just don't have it in the car, bro. We just really don't. We really need to work on getting the car upgraded. We need more downforce, drag reduction, and we need weight reductions on the chassis side of things as well. So this is our in-lap. You can see Gasly is within DRS range, but he's a little bit further ahead of us, and we can't catch him on that lap. As we come into the pits, just behind him, so if we have a good pit stop, possibly we could come out in front of Gasly in the pits. Now let's see, we're checking the rear view camera there. Gasly is out. Can we get out ahead of him? No, we can't. Just behind him, a 2.5 second pit stop. Not the fastest pit stop you'll ever see in your life, let's be honest. Somebody needs sacking right there. But we see yellow flags at the side of the road. What's going on here? As we come through turn 1. Oh my god, out the way, Gasly. What is going on right there, boys? I don't even know, bro. We saw yellow flags. No idea what was going on. And Pierre Gasly is going to be out of the race. There's a safety car right now. I don't know what's going on. Let's check the replay. As we spectate Charles Leclerc coming through turn 1. And Mick Schumacher spins in the middle of the road, which causes Charles Leclerc to lock on. Carlos Sainz breaks behind him. And AlphaTauri of Gasly just slams into the back of Carlos Sainz. And then we get a 5-car pile-up, boys. There are 6 cars involved in the pile-up right there. Absolutely crazy. Let's spectate Gasly. Let's see what Gasly saw from his angle. Just right into the back of the Ferrari. Silly driving from Pierre right there. Silly from Mick as well. Now let's spectate Esteban Ocon, I believe this is, coming out of the pits, bro. And he just goes at ghost mode through the middle of the pack, bro. And that's really annoying for me, because Esteban Ocon, you'll see later on in the race where Esteban Ocon ends up. But that was such BS, bro. Esteban Ocon should have been involved in that crash. So we had Sainz, Leclerc, Schumacher, Stroll, I think, and the Williams of Nicholas Latifi. But yeah, this is the safety car restart. We try and get past Alonso there. Around the outside, can we make the move stick? He's on the faster tyres, on the mediums. We're on the hards. Can we make it stick? Around the flat out right-hander there. We're racing wheel to wheel with Alonso. This is fantastic racing with one of the most experienced drivers on the grid in Fernando Alonso. We've also got Sergio Perez behind us, who is going to come out on top between us and Alonso around this corner. It's looking like we're in front. Can we get the racing line? Yes, we do. Can we push them wide? We sure do. We get the traction through the corner, and we are in P4, boys. Fernando Alonso is just behind us, and it looks like Daniel Ricciardo has picked up some damage. Daniel Ricciardo was pitted just after the pit stop. As ended, Sergio Perez passes us on the home straight there. Not even going to try and fight that. You know, it's Sergio Perez in a Red Bull. Like, a podium would have been nice, but it's Sergio Perez in a Red Bull. Like, it's just a matter of time. Now we have Yuki Tsunoda, bro. It was pretty much just the same. There's not really many places to overtake on this circuit apart from the home straight. And we're racing wheel to wheel with Tsunoda, just like we were with Alonso. Looks like we get better traction through the corner, and we're just much faster through the corner. So we've got Yuki behind us and Lando Norris behind us, arguably 2 better cars than us. We try and defend on Tsunoda there, show him the outside lane so we can go late on the brakes through the inside, and again defend that position. But We've got 3 laps left. We're in P4. It's going to be a very, very tough race. How have we ended up here? P4. Just perfect strategy for us pitting, and then the safety car coming out as soon as we pit. Just perfect strategy from us. Now let's see. We've defended from Tsunoda, which allowed Lando to pass Tsunoda. And you'll see right now, Lando Norris, if you saw the last race, we sent him to the Shadow Realm. And Lando, I'm sorry, mate, you've made your way back, but you're going straight back to the Shadow Realm as we come around the corner and send Lando into the Shadow Realm again. It's 2 races in a row. We've sent Lando Norris to the Shadow Realm. I'm sorry, mate. Let's see a replay of that on the onboard camera. He goes down the inside of us on the hairpin. Now, I thought I left him enough room here. You can't even see anything on my screen, but he just gets sent into the barrier and he loses his front wing. Poor Lando. He's had a stinker of 2 races. Let's ride on board with Lando. See it from his perspective. I don't even feel like there was that much contact. Now, Sam Fellows, I know you're going to call me a dirty driver, but I mean, okay, we did actually hit him and he lost his front wing entirely, but I don't feel like it was that bad of a crash from my point of view. But now we're still defending against Yuki Tsunoda. Look at the pace there from the AlphaTauri as Yuki actually hits us going through turn 1 there. And we get a message from Jeff.
The damage, and we think you should be okay to continue. It'll cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race.
So you can see in the bottom right there the damage profile of the car. The whole car can actually get damaged this year, which is a really nice feature.
We're currently investigating.
And we get another feedback from Jeff to say that there's an issue with the car. And I felt like I lost so much power through this straight right here. I felt like there was just no power in the car, no acceleration or anything like that. Which is obviously not good when you've got Yuki Tsunoda and Max Verstappen behind you, bro. Like, to lose power in the engine is a disaster.
It's like we're experiencing an ERS software glitch.
So we've experienced an ERS software glitch. We couldn't activate our ERS, bro, which was massive. Coming through the home straight now, we're going to have Yuki Tsunoda and Max Verstappen behind us with DRS open. Tsunoda's actually pit as we check the split times in the top left. He must have picked up some front wing damage in turn 1 of the last lap when he did hit into the side of us, which is his fault. Absolute buffoon. So that's a stinker of a race for AlphaTauri, both drivers either retiring or sitting out of the race, sitting deep. But yeah, man, we've got Max Verstappen behind us now and we can't use ERS. So how are we supposed to make a gap to Max Verstappen? We don't. We let him pass. It's a Red Bull, Max Verstappen, you know what I mean? Like, we just let him pass. There's no point in fighting him. Even though there's only 2 laps left, like, we just couldn't defend against him. He's just too good, bro. And the car is so much better than us. But we now have Esteban Ocon behind us within DRS range. Now let's see what's going on here. We see Lance Stroll is out of the session. Looks like just an engine failure for Lance Stroll, which is not good to see, bro. We've had 2 races and we've had Lewis Hamilton retire and we've also had Lance Stroll retire, and they are on the Mercedes engine. We are also on the Mercedes engine, so that's not good to see. And we get caught sleeping right here. Esteban Ocon, I was checking my tyre wear, and Esteban Ocon just gets a nice lane down the inside of turn 1. Overtakes us completely there as we get the yellow flags for Lance Stroll. But it's just unfortunate, bro. Esteban Ocon, he should have been out of the race with that crash that Mick Schumacher caused. But for some reason, EA, I say EA because I'm moaning about FIFA all the time, but EA are actually part of this game now. So EA, with some BS, let Esteban Ocon finish in front of us as we finish in P6 in the Spanish Grand Prix. Now, if you told me at the start of the race we would be finishing P6, I would have took it. But, bro, we nearly had a podium this race. Like, really, like, we could have finished so much higher. Esteban Ocon, driver of the day, absolute cheat of the day, more like. Our teammate Dan Tickton finishing P8 as well, 2 places behind us. Fantastic points for the Sasuke Racing team in the Spanish Grand Prix. You know, just perfect strategy, both doing the 2-stop strategy, the 1-stop, sorry, and coming out right behind the safety car after we've pit. It was just perfect strategy, perfect placement on the track for the situation that happened. And, you know, Mick Schumacher dropping his car in turn 1, it was wild, bro, it was wild. So, yeah, a very fun race there. Next up on the calendar, we have Monaco. Let's see the celebrations right here. You can see the podium there. We've got Bottas 2 wins in a row. Then Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez making up the podium. Obviously, Verstappen could not catch Perez once he did pass us. We probably put a dent in his time on the race by stopping Verstappen a little bit. So Sergio's got us to thanks for that.
After this round of...
Yeah, man, let's see the rest of the grid. So we do finish in P6, just behind the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. What a crazy race, bro. Look at that. Like, we've got the 2 best teams at the top, and then we finished in P6. Aston Martin of Seb Vettel in P7, separating us and our teammate. So, yeah, wild, wild. Antonio Giovinazzi in P9. Giovinazzi in that Alfa Romeo getting up some points. Obviously, both McLarens had damage and had to sit back a little bit outside the points. Well, Daniel gets 1 point actually, but as we scroll down, you'll see where Lando ended up. Poor Lando, one of my favourite drivers on the grid. Kimi Raikkonen got a 5-second penalty, I don't know what for. And Lando Norris finishes in P19. Sorry, Lando. I'll try better in Monaco, not to damage you in any way, bro. I swear to God. Fernando Alonso losing a few places there, finishing in P15. The 2 AlphaTauris as well. And as you can see right there, just our luck, bro. We get back to the headquarters, and all 3 of the car upgrades that we had going with a 40% chance of failure, all 3 of them failed. Like, what's the odds of 3 things with a 40% chance of failing? Like, that's crazy, bro. It is crazy. So we've had to restart them, waste a lot of resource points by restarting these upgrades right here. But once they come through, they'll be worth it. Do you know what I mean? So unfortunately, we do have to spend a lot of resource points there, restarting upgrades rather than actually buying new ones. But it's got to be done. You get me? It's got to be done. As we go across the durability, we do get a supplier upgrade from the suppliers. Now, we are team acclaim level 6 right now, which is mad. So we can pick a new sponsor at level 5. So we do pick this guy. It's Tepe, something like that. If you outqualify your teammate, you get more money. So, I mean, outqualify your rival, sorry, and our rival is, of course, Yuki Tsunoda, and we are battling AlphaTauri this season. I feel like they're the team that we are battling for the best place. And we go ahead and spend some resource points, I think, on this gearbox upgrade right here, because the durability of this Mercedes engine is looking questionable this year, bro. We've had 2 retirements in 2 races from Mercedes engines. So, with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibes. Monaco Grand Prix next. Expect a crash in that one. Take it easy.